Welcome back to Data Makes Sense. Today we're exposing the hidden system designed to keep your credit score sinking, no matter how hard you play by the rules. I know you're wondering if you're falling behind financially, and here's the truth nobody's telling you. Credit scores are crashing, and I don't just mean yours. I'm talking about nearly everyone getting hit. According to a report just released by FICO, the company that calculates the credit scores used by 90% of top lenders, the national average credit score just fell 2 points in 1 year. That might not sound like much, but here's what they're not telling you. This is the biggest credit score crash since the Great Recession. And if you stick with me for the next 13 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly who's profiting from your financial destruction, why the system is rigged against you, and most importantly, the exact steps you need to take to survive this economic massacre. Because here's what we discovered when we dug into the data, and trust me, you're going to want to hear this. The people who calculate your credit score just admitted in their own September 2025 report that the economy looks more like a recession than an expansion, and they're watching millions of Americans fall through the cracks while pretending everything is fine. So let's expose exactly what's happening to your money. Look, according to FICO's inaugural Credit Insights report released September 16, 2025, we just witnessed something that hasn't happened in 16 years. The average American's credit score dropped from 717 to 715, 2 points in 12 months. And I can already hear some of you thinking, 2 points? That's not that bad, but you need to understand what's really happening here. Credit scores almost never go down. Like, they've been climbing steadily for over a decade. 5 points up in 1 year, 3 points up the next. Every single year since 2013, the average American got a little boost to their credit score. We were on this beautiful upward trend. People were recovering from the 2008 financial crisis. Things were getting better until now. Here's the mathematical reality that should absolutely terrify you. According to the same FICO report, delinquency rates on credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, they're all at their highest levels since 2009. Some are even higher than 2009. Let me say that again. 2009, the year of the Great Recession, when unemployment hit 10%, when millions of people lost their homes, when the entire financial system nearly collapsed. Yes, that year, we're seeing delinquency rates like that year, but nobody today is calling this economic period a recession. And here's where it gets really interesting. According to Tommy Lee, FICO's Senior Director of Predictive Scores and Analytics, and this is a direct quote from their official report, these delinquency rates are more consistent with an economy in recession than one still in expansion. Let me say that again. The people who calculate your credit score, the company holding millions of credit files, the organization that sees exactly how Americans spend their money, is now saying the data screams one thing: we're already in a recession. But the government says everything's fine. The stock market's at all-time highs, unemployment is low, inflation is coming down. So what's the truth? Here's what the data reveals when you actually dig into it. This isn't just a credit score problem. This is a generational wealth destruction event happening in real time. According to the FICO report, if you're Gen Z, ages 18 to 29, your credit score took the biggest hit of any age group. You dropped 3 points this year. That's the largest year-over-year decline for any generation since 2020, when the entire world shut down during a global pandemic. Think about that. Your credit score dropped more this year than it did during COVID lockdowns. But here's where it gets absolutely brutal. 14% of Gen Zers, that's basically 1 in 7 young people, lost 50 points or more in the past year. 50 points. That's not a little dip. That's not a minor setback. That's the difference between having good credit and having bad credit. That's the difference between getting approved for an apartment and getting rejected. Between qualifying for a car loan at 6% interest and paying 18%, or just getting denied completely. And it gets worse. According to the report, 34% of Gen Zers have student loans. That's double the national average of 17%. So while older generations are sitting on their appreciating home values and massive gains from the stock market, young people are drowning in student debt that they can't pay, with credit scores that are tanking, trying to afford rent that's 50% higher than it was 5 years ago. Here's a stat that should make you furious. According to this FICO report, between February and April of 2025, just 3 months, 6.1 million Americans had a student loan delinquency added to their credit file. 6.1 million people in 90 days. The student loan delinquency rate just hit 29%. That's a record high. Nearly 1 in 3 people with a student loan payment due isn't paying it. And here's the kicker. According to the same report, another 1.9 million consumers haven't had a delinquency reported yet, even though they have student debt payments due and haven't made a single payment. So we're looking at over 8 million Americans who are either already delinquent or about to be on their student loans alone. So who's profiting from this financial massacre? Let me introduce you to the 3 villains in the system that's destroying your credit score right now. Villain number 1, the student loan system. Here's what they don't want you to know. During COVID, the government paused student loan payments and stopped reporting delinquencies to credit bureaus. That pause ended in September 2024. So what happened? Millions of people who were technically in default suddenly had their delinquencies start showing up on their credit reports again. If you're Gen Z, this hit you like a freight train. Because you're early in your credit journey, you don't have 20 years of perfect payment history to cushion the blow. You might have a credit card for 3 years, maybe a small auto loan, and then boom, student loan delinquency. Your score can drop 50, 100, even 150 points. According to research from the New York Federal Reserve Bank published in March 2025, a new student loan delinquency can tank your credit score by more than 150 points if you have good credit to start with. And here's the sick irony: the better your credit score was, the harder you fall. According to the Fed's analysis, if you had a 760 credit score, excellent credit, one student loan delinquency knocks you down 171 points on average, but if you already had bad credit, below 620, it only drops you 87 points. The system literally punishes people who are doing everything right. And let's talk about why young people can't pay these loans. It's not because they're irresponsible, it's because the job market is absolutely brutal right now. According to multiple career reports, the entry-level job market for recent college graduates is the worst it's been in years. Many graduates are struggling to find positions in their fields of study at all. So you're told, go to college, get a degree, you'll get a good job. You take out $50,000 in loans. You graduate, and then there are no jobs. Or the jobs pay $40,000 a year in a city where rent is $2,000 a month. The math doesn't work, it never worked. But they sold you the dream anyway. Now, we've exposed the first villain, the student loan scam that's crushing an entire generation. But there are 2 more villains in this financial massacre, and they're even more ruthless. I'm talking about predatory systems that are deliberately trapping you, making record profits while you struggle, and a rigged economy that's literally erasing the middle class, where the wealthy get wealthier while working families fall through the cracks. But here's what we are really going to show you in the next video: how these villains work together to destroy your financial future, and more importantly, how you can fight back. Because once you understand the complete picture, you'll see the entire system for what it really is. But first, every day you wait, every day you stay in the dark, these financial predators are stealing money from your future. The system makes you broke and desperate. We're going to make sure you're fighting back from this vicious cycle. Part 2 drops shortly. If this information shocked you as much as it shocked me, smash that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to help us reach 500 subscribers so we can keep exposing financial scams. Good luck, and see you in the next one.